Hi dear students, I welcome you for my science class. Today we will discuss about the interesting part of this chapter. Let me start through a small activity. Here is an activity. The right side the functions of glands are given and the left side the glands, name of the glands are given. So you have to match the correct answers. Okay. So pituitary gland, adrenal gland, thyroid gland and insulin, and the right side its functions are there. Regulate emergency situations, regulate metabolism for the body growth, regulates blood sugar level and stimulates growth in all organs. So what is the right answer here? Pituitary gland stimulates growth in all organs, adrenal gland regulate emergency situations, thyroid gland it regulates metabolism for the body growth, and insulin it regulates blood sugar level. Did you understand anything? So these are the functions of the glands. Okay, so let me explain about these gland and its functions in today's class. Okay students, dear students, you probably heard about hormones. What are they? How do they do? What are these hormones? So what are hormones? They bring control and coordination. So you have already studied about nerve system, right? So it is the one which process control and coordination in your body. But why do we need the other system to do the same things, these hormones? Because let me tell you the reason why. The main drawback of nerve system is they are limited to only few cells of our body. So not all cells can be controlled by a nerve system. So hormones on the other hand, they can affect all the cells of our body. Let's take a very specific example. Imagine you are walking on street, usually surfing your mobile. Suddenly, lizard jumps on you. Your eyes are able to spot that lizard and immediately the signals from your eyes go to spinal cord and bring triggers, and that is nothing but reflex action. So because of which you immediately bend down and you dodge that lizard. So your nerve system helped to avoid the danger. But the danger is not over yet. The lizard is still there. It can attack at any moment there. So your body needs to prepare for this danger. So what prepares your body for this? Well, nerve system cannot do it because to prepare your body, lot of cell will be involved. Like I said before, nerve system cannot reach all the cells. It's your hormones that can help you in preparing your body for this situation. So these hormones they lower down your pain sensitivity so that you can bear more pain, and now your body is prepared for fight with lizard or use your leg and run away. This is mainly due to the secretion of the hormones. Okay, so what are the hormones? What are hormones then? So hormones are the chemical messengers. They bring control and coordination like nerve system. So both nerve system and hormones they bring control and coordination in our body. And these hormones are directly secreted into the blood which carries them to organs and tissues of the body to exert their function. And mainly these hormones are produced by endocrine glands. Okay, so how are the hormones produced? Hormones are produced by endocrine glands. So who produces the hormone? Glands produces the hormone. Okay, then what are glands? Do you know about glands? Okay, so gland it is an organ, okay, which produces and releases substances, chemical substances that performs a specific function in our body. So glands are nothing but they are the part of our body that secretes the chemical substances, and each chemical substances does its own function. And example for glands, pituitary gland, hypothalamus gland, sweat glands, liver, pancreas. So pituitary and hypothalamus we discussed in the brain section, right? And also this liver and pancreas that we discussed in a life process lesson during while explaining a digestion part. Okay. Again, in glands, there are two types, endocrine glands and exocrine glands. See, exocrine glands like your landline phone. Nowadays, nobody is using that landline phones, right? It through the wire, the signals are sent, right, in a landline phones. So these exocrine glands are also called as duct glands. Means through the duct they secretes the chemical substances. Okay, for example, salivary gland, liver, then pancreas. See, pancreas is act as both endocrine as well as exocrine gland. I'll explain later. But endocrine glands are like your cell phone, mobile phone. It is wireless, right? But we can send the message through without a wire. So endocrine glands are also called as glands without ducts. Remember your cell phone. Exocrine is like landline phone. So endocrine glands are like pituitary gland, thyroid gland, thymus, adrenal gland and testes and ovaries in a female. So we'll discuss the functions of all these glands. Okay, the first one, pituitary gland. See, pituitary gland is like teachers. If you imagine your school, teachers are like endocrine glands, means they control the activities of all the students, right? Similarly, this pituitary gland controls all the other glands. Okay, it stimulates glands to do the function, and it is also called as a growth hormone. You can see here it controls adrenaline cortex, skin, bone, muscle, thyroid, testicles, ovaries, kidneys, everything. So it is like a master of the gland, like teachers in a school. Let's see the functions of pituitary gland. So mainly they stimulates adrenal gland to secretes adrenaline hormone. Okay, and also it looks after the functions of ovaries and testes. Then it is also called as growth hormone. Remember, it helps in a growth. For example, think of yourself when you're too small and now. What changes occurred in between? Your height has increased, your weight has gained, lot of changes occurred in your body, right? This is mainly because of a pituitary gland. So pituitary gland is also called as a growth hormone, pituitary, and they controls all the functions of other endocrine glands. Remember, the next one is hypothalamus. So this is interesting one. See, hypothalamus is like a headmistress. Okay, it is master of master gland. Pituitary gland is master gland. Hypothalamus is master of a master gland. That means they releases hormone and they stimulate pituitary gland to do the function. Okay, so it's like a main switchboard. So main switchboard in the house, it regulates all the other switchboards, right? Similarly, hypothalamus is like a main switchboard, and all the other endocrine glands works based on this gland. See, for example, in the school, if the situation is not handled by the teacher, then that matter goes to HM, right? Headmistress, right? So finally, the headmistress gives the solution. Same thing here, hypothalamus. It stimulates pituitary glands to follow up the activities. Remember, means it gives instructions to the pituitary gland to do the activities, and it is just adjacent to the pituitary gland is just adjacent to the hypothalamus gland, and this is all located in a brain. Okay, it controls everything like growth hormone, then adrenaline hormone, then corticotropin. This is all not there, but for your information I am giving the, I'm explaining this. Then the pineal gland, this is very small endocrine gland, smallest endocrine glands. Your mainly your sleep wake cycle, that is regulated by the pineal gland. It secretes melatonin hormone, and that regulates our sleep. So if you had a good night, you will have a good day, isn't it? So we have to sleep 1/3 of the day. So it mainly this is controlled by our pineal gland. If the pineal gland works properly, then we'll get dreamless sleep. Okay, cleared? So if you have a good sleep, then our day we will be active throughout the day. Okay, the next one, thyroid gland. It is present in the neck region and its shape is like a butterfly. So mainly this thyroid gland, it secretes thyroxine hormone. Okay, thyroxine hormone, and it takes iodine from the salt. Remember, thyroid gland secretes thyroxine hormone and it takes iodine from salt. If there is a deficient of iodine in our body, then this gland increases its size to capture the iodine. Okay, clear? To get the iodine, that gland starts to expand. So it starts to swell. Clear? So finally the neck region that starts to swell, and this is called goiter, swollen neck. You might have seen people having the swollen neck, bulged in the neck region. That is because of the deficiency of iodine, and that disease is called goiter. Okay, and it regulates metabolism in our body. That means we take the food, right, like carbohydrate, fat, lipids, protein, etc. That is digested, and to digest it helps in a digestion of all these components, and finally it gives the energy. So mainly they regulates metabolism in our body. Okay, thyroid gland. So if it secretes more thyroxine, then that causes hyperthyroidism. Remember, hyperthyroidism means if the thyroid gland secretes excess thyroxine hormone, and they causes some of the other defects like anxiety, irritability, nervousness, then hyperactivity, sweating, then hand trembling, shaking, hair loss, missed or light menstrual periods. All these are what? Excess secretion of causes of excess secretion of thyroxine hormone. But if the thyroid gland secretes less thyroxine hormone, then it causes a hypothyroidism. Okay, so here you'll get some of the problems like trouble sleeping, tiredness and fatigue, difficulty concentrating, then dry skin and hair, depression, sensitivity to cold temperature, then frequent heavy heavy periods, joint and muscle pain. Okay, next one is adrenal gland. It secretes adrenaline hormone. So mainly adrenal gland is located at the top of either of the kidneys, and it prepares us for flight or fight situation, as I mentioned in the previous example. So for example, when we see a snake suddenly, we will stand for a moment, right? Then after sometimes either we will hit that snake or we will run away. So this is because of a adrenaline gland. Okay, how it is possible? Okay, during that time, this adrenal gland that secretes adrenaline hormone, and our heartbeat increases, resulting in supplying of more oxygen to our muscles. Remember, when our heartbeat rate increases, the blood supplies to our muscles, so that in the blood in the digestive system and skin is reduced because our muscles contracts, and this diverts the blood to our skeletal muscles. So the breathing rate increases because of the contraction of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. So all these responses together enable us to be ready to deal with the situation. Okay. So the next one is pancreas. As I told you, pancreas act as endocrine as well as exocrine glands. Mainly it secretes two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Okay. So it helps in digestion as a exocrine gland, and it regulates sugar level as a endocrine glands. So the food which we eat consists glucose, right? So after the during digestion, this glucose mixed up with the blood, and so it mixes up with the blood. Have you ever tasted your blood? It's little bit in sweet, right? So this is mainly because of glucose. Okay. So during this time, the pancreas secretes insulin. Okay, insulin hormone, so that the cells, they are able to collect the glucose and they can perform the function. Remember, when the glucose is mixed up with the blood, the pancreas secretes insulin to maintain that glucose level. Okay, glucose consists what? Sugar, sweet sugar, and so that the cells can do the activity. At the same time, if the excess glucose is created, then that excess glucose is stored in the liver. Okay. And this liver converts excess glucose into glycogen. Remember, mainly insulin, it regulates the glucose level, that means sugar level in our body. So this liver converts excess glucose into glycogen. In case if you are fasting, during that time, when your stomach is empty, the pancreas again secretes glucagon, and this converts glycogen into glucose. I'll repeat. Glucose from the blood is consumed by the cell through insulin hormone. So insulin regulates the glucose level in blood, that is blood sugar. Later, during fasting time, the glucagon which is stored in liver is converted into glucose through glucagon. Glucagon is also secreted by pancreas. In this way, the insulin controls the blood sugar or glucose. Suppose if the pancreas is not able to secrete insulin, what happens? The blood sugar increases. The sugar level in the body increases, and the person may suffer from diabetes. So this disease is called diabetes. Okay. The next one is ovaries. So ovaries secretes two hormones. Okay, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, that indicates the puberty stage of girls. For example, when the girls reaches 12 to 13, 11 age, during that time, some changes occurs in the body, right? Like the height increases, the weight also changes, and hair starts to grow in a genetical part. Then it mainly regulates menstrual cycle in a girls. Okay, and progesterone is secreted during the pregnancy time. The next one is testes. So testes secretes testosterone hormone. It indicates the puberty stage of boys. Okay. Again, when the boys are reaches to 12, 13 year old, their voice changes. Then beard appears on the face, mustache appeared on the face. Then their body size also changes. So drastic changes occurs. This is mainly because of the secretion of testosterone hormone. So this is about the hormones. I hope this is understood. Now let's recall again about the glands and its functions. First one is hypothalamus. It is a master gland, and they act on the kidney to regulate fluid balance. Then the pituitary, it controls all different 9 different hormones, and they regulate growth and other glands. Then thyroid secretes thyroxine hormone, and it helps in metabolism process. Then pancreas, it secretes insulin and glucagon, mainly it controls the blood sugar level. Then adrenaline secretes epinephrine hormone, and mainly it controls the heart rate and blood pressure. Then testosterone, production of sperm, and it shows some male characteristics of boys. Then ovaries, it secretes estrogen and progesterone, mainly it helps for the production of eggs and female characteristics. This is about the glands. Now let's discuss the question answers of this part, hormones in animals. The first one, how does chemical coordination take place in animals? The chemical coordination in animals takes place by the action of chemicals called hormones, and they are produced in certain glands in body in very small amount and poured, means secreted directly in the blood. Their target based on means works on particular organs, and these organs are called target organs. And the hormones that control coordination various functions of the body, such as development, growth, and sexual changes. The next one, why is the use of iodized salt is advisable? Iodine is necessary for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormone, and thyroxine regulates carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism in the body so as to provide the best balance for growth. So it also helps for the balance for growth balance. In case iodine is deficient in our diet, there is a possibility that we might suffer from goiter. One of the symptoms in this disease is a swollen neck, as I told you. How does our body respond when adrenaline is secreted into the blood? So adrenal is a hormone that secretes by the adrenal gland in case of any danger for emergency or any kinds of stress. So it is secreted directly into the blood and is transported to different parts of the body. When the stress is created in large amount, it speeds up the heartbeat and hence supply more oxygen to the muscles. The breathing rate also increases due to contraction of diaphragm and rib muscles. It also increases the blood pressure. So all these responsible enables the body to deal with any stress or emergency. Why are some patients of diabetes treated by giving injection of insulin? So diabetes is a disease in which the level of sugar in the blood is too high. Okay, diabetes means more glucose level in the body. Insulin is a hormone that's secreted by the pancreas, helps in regulating the blood sugar level, and this is the reason why diabetic patients are treated by giving injections of insulin. So what is the need for system of control and coordination in an organism? So an organism needs control and coordination system for the following functions, mainly to save the body of organism from the harmful changes in environment, then to control the speed of voluntary and involuntary actions, and to have the capability to think and learn for responding to any stimuli. And the last question, compare and contrast nerves and hormonal mechanism for control and coordination. So difference between nerve system and hormonal system. So mainly this nerve system, it is conveyed from the electrical impulses. So it is in the form of electrical impulses. Messages pass through in the form of electrical impulses. But here the information is conveyed in the form of chemical messengers. Then the axon and dendrites transmit the information through coordinated effort. Here the information is transmitted or transported through blood. Blood transports the messages. Then the flow of information is rapid and the response is quick. But here information is travels slowly and the response is very slow. Its effects are short lived, but it has prolonged effects. For example, growth. Okay, so this is about the nerve system and hormonal system in our body. Please write down the notes and learn those question answers. Thank you.